right, we are here with the men, the meth, and the legends, Matteson and Russell Smith. How are you guys today?
Good.
Good.
We're
A little warm.
Little warm.
Is there
The air-
ever gonna kick on?
The air in the studio, we might have to work on here. We don't have to work on the.
I
put
feel
an
it coming
icebox in
from
for Matt.
somewhere. I just got a hoodie. It's cold outside. It's the middle of May. It's summertime.
Yeah, it's like one of those.
12 degrees.
It's like one of those anti-earth warming days here. 96 the other day, and
Yep.
whatever it was yesterday, it was like
We're 62
jacket
today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's gloomy,
crazy.
raining, cold. I'm walking around in a hoodie.
Yeah,
That's right.
And shorts.
shorts and a hoodie. We'll start with Matt. How did you get into this crazy career here?
It's his fault. it's Russell's fault.
It is.
No.
Russell's to blame.
We made the decision. My wife was going to be a stay-at-home mom. That was what was important to us.
Yeah.
And naturally, you lose an income when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I was hustling all the time, just doing whatever. Primary job, and then I'd go have side hustles. And, I've been friends with Russell for years, way before real estate ever started. I got to talking to him one day, and he had him and some other guys that we kind of mutually knew had went in this real estate venture. And at the time, I knew absolutely nothing about real estate. I knew,
and we still don't know.
We still don't. So I had, not really a whole lot of information about it. So I got to digging and asking him questions, and learned a little bit about the path to get there, what you needed to do. And at the time, I was looking for something a little bit more sustainable on top of my full-time job, just to make ends meet, man. And hearing some of the stories from these guys about, the potential for income with it, So, I bounced the idea around for, I don't know, maybe a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
That long? I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah.
I think you got your license, about a year and a half before I got mine?
Yeah. Yep.
So I kind of toyed back and forth with it. The schedule that I worked wasn't like super conducive to going to school. Ultimately, I was able to work it out, but finally, I think when we had this conversation, I was already in real estate school. So
You were.
it was towards the end of 2017. I think in the fall of 2017, I went and took the pre-licensing class at Jan Secor School of Real Estate in Greensboro. It's a pretty good program. It was flexible. I will say, I don't know how it is now, but at the time, for somebody that had, full-time obligations somewhere else, they offered like a part-time basis, daytime class, and the same thing at night. Night class was like 6 to 10. Daytime class was somewhere from like 8 to 1, somewhere around in there. Started at nighttime. I was like, nah, I don't want to do
That's
that.
too much.
That's tough.
Yeah, on top of everything else. So I worked it out with my schedule, like 2 or 3 days a week. Class would meet from 8 to 1. So I get to talking to him while I'm going through class. I'm almost at the end, to where you take the big class test, and then you go off and take your state test. And I was talking to him at lunch one day, and he's like, "Yeah, I got 2 closings coming up." And I'm like, "Man, it's Christmas time. Like, how long does it take to get paid?" And he's like, "Oh, as soon as you close and record, like a couple of days after that." And I was like, "Man, like maybe this is legit." So I go through, I pass the class, go to take my state test. The first time it was a place in Winston-Salem. Passed the national portion and failed the state by 1.
Man.
And I was like,
That's tough.
Which, by the way, guys, not many people pass it the first time.
No.
no.
So
That
for
test
those
was hard.
for those that don't know,
Yeah.
like it's hard.
It was a bear. There's a lot of law, like license law in there, and that's the most difficult, especially taking a layman that has no idea, like how the law works. So I went back. When I failed the test, I was like, man, this is It's not cool.
Do I need to do this?
Yeah, do I need to do this?
Yeah.
Because I think it was like $165 a pop.
Oh man.
Somewhere around in there.
That sounds about right.
Don't quote me on the price.
That sounds
but
about right, actually.
it's like, so I've already spent, $500-$600 on the class, on the books. I've got
Time invested.
At time invested. At this point, I've got like $160 invested in a test that I just took. And I'm like, man, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
And you also were, I remember you were concerned, hey, I'm not here. I'm not there making that side money you were doing.
Right.
You were investing that free time
Correct.
into this class.
Yeah, absolutely. So like my side hustles that I was having to cut back from that. So I basically, not going to say I put all my eggs in that basket, but you had to commit to it and take it seriously. You're not going to pass because that test ain't for the meek. I'm going to tell you that right now. I've got several licenses through the state, and I've taken several state exams, and to this day, the real estate test is probably
the hardest.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. So anyway, I go back, I study. A couple days later, I go back and take the test, and I pass it. So I started with an agency in Lexington, which is 25, 30 minutes from my house. But I knew the guy at the brokerage, and so I started there in I think the end of January in 2018. Learning the ropes. By this point, I've got the class, the books, 2 tests, MLS dues, national dues. So I'm close to $2,500 in the hole at this point.
Easy.
Yeah, and I'm going to the office every day that I can go, and I'm trying to learn and figure it out. And this office that I worked at provided leads. But honestly, man, if you're new in the game and you get a hot lead come through the phone, you don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah, you don't.
I mean, you know how to talk to
it.
people, but you're like, how do I follow up with this person?
Mm-hmm.
So I get one under contract and started looking because it was just too far. Driving to Lexington every day was too far. It wasn't really relevant to my community. Really, the only person I knew in Lexington at the time was Russell. He was I think you were at that firm too, because I came to that firm.
Yep.
So I got one under contract, figured my way through it, decided that I wanted to go somewhere a little closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran into a guy that knew you. You had actually sold him a house.
Oh, yeah.
He had his real estate license,
right.
and he was here.
Yeah, I hadn't heard this because I was curious how that even lined up.
Yeah. So
'Cause I think we both knew Stratton.
Yeah,
at the time.
we both knew Stratton, but I also knew Ricky because I had done some part-time work with him where he works full-time.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of jobs, by the way. I think everybody that knows me knows that, like, I've always hustled.
You a hustler, man.
Jack of
That's
all
what it is.
trades.
You a hustler.
Jack of all trades. So he put me in contact with you. I remember I called Nathan one afternoon, and in Thomasville, when you hear real estate, Hepler Realty is probably one of the names that pops up. I mean, you've been in business here for what? How long?
20 years.
20 years.
A little over 20 years.
20 years. So, you've got your Ed Prices, you've got your Keller Williams, you've got these other Caldwell Banker.
Mm-hmm.
You've got these firms that everybody knows. They're big name firms and they do well. They've been in business for a long time. But like in Thomasville, you've got the small town local office. So I ended up having a conversation with you, and I think in April of 2018, was it? April
Yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah.
I transferred here, and the rest is kind of history.
I didn't run him off somehow.
No, you didn't run me off. Actually, this place has been awesome. Like that should speak. That in itself should speak for something. I mean,
oh yeah,
we're going on. I've been here I've been in real estate over 8 years, and I've been here over 8 years at this point.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's had its ups and downs. Obviously, I don't do this full time, but I have survived what I'd like to say somewhat of a crisis in real estate. You know,
Mm-hmm.
post COVID, during COVID, when
was tough.
Everybody
when
had a ride.
the balloon happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people. I think there's only 2 or 3 people that I went to real estate school with that are still in the game.
it.
Yep.
That's
And
crazy.
and one of them I know for sure. She's very successful.
Yeah.
She works for a firm in High Point. So it's been good to me. It's helped bridge a gap. It's helped take care of my family. It's helped support my family. It's probably taken some years off my life.
Now the truth comes out.
Yeah, it's taken some years off of my life, but you know, I don't really have anything, you know, super negative to say about it in a whole. There's been times where, you know, not doing it full time, not out here blasting advertisements. You know,
Right.
I have a circle of influence that I typically work with. I mean, I'll work with anybody, but most of my clientele is people that I know.
People, yeah.
And then repeat business and word of mouth. There's been a couple times where business has been slow at no fault to anybody else but myself. You know, our focus is shift here and there to
yeah.
do what we need to
Well,
do
family
to
too,
make ends
family
meet.
life.
Family
You know.
life, adding kids to the family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I'm glad that I've stuck it out. I remember there was one time where I called you and I was like, hey, man, I don't have anything in the pipeline. And whoever thought it was a good idea to get billed the month of Christmas for next year's dues, like, come on.
Yeah, we're talking about MLS dues.
Is there anybody on
MLS?
MLS
National.
listening to this, man? How
Yeah,
about
be
y'all
like-
put this in like July or like
Yeah, give us a
Yeah.
break at
or
the Christmas
May
time.
or October? But like, come on, man, over $1,000 due the week of Christmas. Come on,
That is tough.
come on.
That is tough.
So, but it's been good to me. It's
That's
been a
good.
good journey here.
It's good to hear.
Nathan's been good to me. We got good
yeah.
people in the office. Everybody's willing to help. So that's
great.
kind of my story in a nutshell.
Yeah, I can remember some of the time, you know, when you started. I don't remember probably as much as you do. I'm a little older, just a little bit. So I'm having flashbacks. I was like, that's right, you did come from there, and you did, you know. So that's good. Russell, what did your journey start with as far as getting in your real estate career?
So kind of like Matt, some of these mutual friends we have had gotten into the real estate world from, I mean, all different industries. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what pinged their interest in it, right? But they got in it, and just through conversations, lunches, whatever, you hear this and you're like, And kind of like Matt, I lived through what he's done just a few years earlier with, you know, going from a 2-income household to a single income household. You know, grinding out whatever we needed to do
Right.
so we could have that life at home for our family. And you know, sometimes I look back and wonder if that was the smartest thing, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
where, you know, now you're thinking about retirement,
yeah.
and you're like, man, I probably put myself behind a few years, but what quality did we give to what's important, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't regret it at all, but like him, probably looking for, you know, a replacement, so to speak,
Yeah, sure.
for that income that we lost. And, you know, talking to people is I think that's probably been a strong suit for both of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would say so. I think both of y'all are probably better at it than I am, you know, as far as, you know, being able to communicate and communicate effectively. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think y'all do a
yeah.
great job with that.
Don't
just the
run into
network.
either one of us at the grocery store if you got somewhere to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't have talking for
I'll tell you
like
down on aisle 8. We'll talk for a while. But I think that helped though, and in having that ability, you know, to build rapport with people, and just to maybe just to be real with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
feel
absolutely.
like, I mean, some of my first dealings with real estate agents, they were great, professional, right? But maybe a little intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that was just not knowing the industry,
Right.
probably being most of it. But you know, for me, if I'm looking at a home, I don't need anyone showing up in a suit, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes just being real, being, you know, local
Mm-hmm.
to this area,
I think it does matter. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
maybe eases some of that. It's a big decision. It's a lot going on, especially for first time home buyers, right? I mean, that's a huge deal. That's exciting. It's big. Being able to build that rapport and kind of have maybe a more natural approach to it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to think sometimes that helps, but
I think you're right.
Being non-robotic.
right.
Yeah. I've gone to showings dressed like I'm dressed right now.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know your
shorts and extra
clientele, right?
cuffs,
You
so,
know, there's some that probably feel more comfortable you showing up like that. So, but yeah, just so probably mainly initially was to replace that income that we had lost, and man, and it was kind of busy. It was kind of I feel like we were kind of at a peak when you and I both got in it.
Yeah.
The market as a whole.
Right, it was definitely on the up for sure.
Yep.
18, 19.
And I don't know that made it easier.
No.
Because things were moving pretty, they're moving at lightning speed, and we're trying to grasp any info we could and figure out what exactly was going on in the midst of that.
Right.
But, yeah, that was my interest kind of sparked from just conversations. With folks that we knew.
Yeah. If you was to say, maybe talk to or conversate with somebody that may be listening on getting into real estate, what do you think you would tell somebody? Say, hey, if you're going to start, this is what you need to do.
I hadn't really thought about that, but I would say, and this would be the hard part. I think it's the hard part for anybody doing it right. And there's a mutual friend we have that told me this from the get go, and I never. And maybe I couldn't have at the time. Yeah. But just do it full time. Right? Like
Russell Smith
be in a position, right? And that's not to deter anybody if you can't do it. Maybe that's Matt and I both had to go about it a different way to get where we're at now.
Sure.
But if you could facilitate that, because it takes that, right? It takes the time, the mental.
Oh man,
right, right,
yeah.
Because you miss stuff, right? I mean,
yeah, it's tough. It's tough with the time. People don't realize how much time you might have in a transaction that you might show 25, 30 houses to. Everybody's like, oh, that's all you did. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
It's definitely not the only.
I would say I don't disagree with what you said. Obviously, our story's a little bit different, kind of what I do full time's like my life's work, whatever. This is probably pretty second because there's been years where it's made just as much, if not more, than what I make at my full-time job. But I would tell get some perspective and have realistic expectations. A lot of people, I was guilty of it too. I didn't realize that, I was going to have, $2,500, $3,000 tied up in something, and I don't think I saw my first commission for almost a year.
Right
after I started,
spent the money,
and
invested,
and I was just fortunate to when I was going through school, I had a pretty big circle of people that I was almost putting myself out there. Hey, I'm in real estate school. Anybody needs to buy or sell a house, hit me up. That's all I knew how to do.
Yeah,
and about 6 months to a year after I came here, all of those things in that pipeline that had been building for 2 years hit at one time.
Started developing.
But
for sure,
real estate, and you ask 10 different realtors, they're probably going to give you 10 different answers. This is a perspective thing.
Sure.
But real estate is not a get rich quick thing. No, it's not a guaranteed get rich thing.
No, at all. It really ain't.
Yes, you are paid very well for what you do, but what people don't realize is there's a lot mentally that you take on as a realtor.
Yeah.
So, you just have to have the expectation going in that I'm going to have to put a lot of work in and a lot of time in up front to get to the point where you're actually making money.
Right.
I remember I was like, man, I've done all this stuff and all this work and all this class and all this study and these state tests and burning gas, going to an office, sitting there staring at a computer, looking at MLS, not knowing what the heck I'm doing. Yeah. And at a point you start to, man, I'm doing all this work for free. And so you just need to have anybody that's going to get into this, you need to realize that there's a lot of people that do this. Agents are a dime a dozen. I've worked with a lot of really good agents, man. I've worked with some fantastic people, and I've worked with some agents that not so much.
Maybe need a little more training.
Yeah,
Yep.
those here lately tend to be a little more few and far between.
And probably we've probably dropped some agents,
Yeah.
right? Like as a state,
Yeah,
in our
Probably.
state.
a lot of the agents that didn't do so well maybe came into the game with the wrong expectations.
Because you like in your era of getting, I would say there's probably a lot of men and women that probably dropped out, right? Like I feel like you survived.
Yeah. I think in
You survived 08, man.
Yeah.
08, yeah, 08 it
Right.
definitely went down. Yeah.
Right.
I remember, I don't know how I remember this because I can't remember, stuff from yesterday, but the weird stuff that nobody cares about, I remember. It was like 70, 75, 80,000, licensed agents. Now we're, not well over, but we're over 100,000 in the state of North Carolina.
Right.
But in 2008, I remember it dropping. I was like, I was kind of looking at the number because it would come out here and there on a little bit of social media. And I thought, well, that's odd. Agents are quitting the industry, And then I really got into, what happened in 08 and 09. And I was selling $30,000 houses. And it's like, okay, I understand it because, what people were feeding their family on was, probably back then $150 to a $250,000 house. And now we're selling 30s to 60s.
Yeah, sure.
And really showing and offering probably 20 to 40 to 50-ish range to get one.
Right.
So nothing was selling. Nobody was buying nothing back then. So, yeah, it's definitely different. I'm going through 08 and 09, and now I do see that a little bit. I see agents that have fell back a little bit from, killing it in 23. 23 was, 22 and 23 pretty easy. Yeah. Not saying easy, but, it just came a little bit.
It just flowed, yeah.
Yeah, it came a little bit easier, I think, for the market. So, yeah, I totally get that. My answer is always, how many people do you know, and just understand that that's the most important thing. Because certain people will get a license, and they'll come to me, which they have, and they'll, I'll ask, probably y'all may not remember this, but I'll ask, how many people's in your phone? And they'll say like 70, and I'm like, I'm like, you gonna need some contacts.
Those are rookie numbers. We need to bump those numbers.
Yeah, we gotta bump that up.
We're gonna have to get some contacts, like hundreds, maybe thousands. And they look at me like, how? And I don't know. Nobody knows that many people, and that's what it really takes. It's so many people. I might talk to on the client side. I might talk to probably realistically 20 to 25 a day, and maybe 2 of them actually go through a transaction. So it's tough when you're talking to so many, you're communicating so much. You can't, if you don't watch, you can get burned out, on that for sure. It's like, sometimes I'll go home and everybody in the house was wondering why I'm so quiet. It's like, I've had 92 calls today. I'm good.
All I can talk.
I'm going to go over here and sit in the closet, What do you both think, the future, for you personally? Both of you making money in different places, and that's great. What do you think the future looks like for you guys in the world of real estate?
Made it 8 years so far. Be stupid to stop now.
Oh yeah, and you've had closings this year. Both of you have. So
got one in 2 weeks. So I've just kind of tailored what I do to how it fits in with my life. I'd like to be a little bit busier. I'm like a bulk guy. So, I'll go 3, 4, 5 months with not a lot going on. And then, I'll get 6 under contract, close all 6 of them in a 4-week period. And then I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Let me tell you all the truth about both of these gentlemen that's here. I won't see these guys, both of them. Russell started it. It was kind of a running joke with me and Russell. I was like, man, I ain't seen you in 3 or 4 months. And then you come over here and you got like 7 houses under contract and you close them all. And then I don't see you for about 3 or 4 months. And then you come back with 3 or 4. And it's just kind of like Matt does the same thing. I don't see him for a little while. And he's like, hey, I got these 3. I'm like, what? Where'd they come from? Well, hold up.
So some of that, really, the basis of that is because I think we both work like our sphere of people, right?
Right.
It's organic. You've done a lot better job, I feel like, than I have with the social media and kind of marketing, which I love. I need to do more of that. I think I'm ready for that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But
Well, you're on it right now. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. We're doing it right now.
Yeah.
But I think that is kind of a product of having just that organic circle too.
Yeah.
You know, you have, you know, somebody in your circle's doing this, making a move here, whatever, and that it kind of comes and grows like that. I feel like versus being, you know, big on social media, you know, working with people you don't know that were picked up by a post or a lead or whatever. You know, that may give you something more steady.
Right.
Those deals, though, because I've had several of those. I've had some deals come from a post or something on social media. Ultimately, I was tied to that person somehow.
Right.
It was either a friend of a friend or whatever. But those deals are the ones that have typically been the most problematic for me.
It can be.
Because there's never – I've been very fortunate in my real estate career. I've only had 2 terminate.
Yeah, that's great.
And one of them
I think
was
I had 2 terminate like last month.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
well, I mean, you also do 14 times the volume that I do.
Right.
Yeah, but if they all terminate, it don't matter.
Yeah. One was just because it was a perfect storm, and you literally had buyers and sellers that just absolutely refused to work with each other.
Yeah.
It was, and the agents that I worked with for those transactions were fantastic. Like,
Yeah, sure.
If there was something to be saved, there was. But I've been fortunate to where I've only had
comment on that.
Yeah, where I've only had those 2, but the non-organic things that I've done tend to be, in my experience, and I could be completely wrong. You could ask another agent that does this full time, and they'll tell you a different story. It's just a little easier to work through things when you have that relationship.
You already have that rapport.
Yeah, you have
You've
the
got that
relationship,
rapport.
established with somebody. That's the first thing I do. Like I'm a people person. Sometimes, kind of.
I think most of the time I see that you're a people person. I don't. Well, maybe I hadn't seen it.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I always try to establish that with somebody and kind of have that line of communication with them. But to me, it's always easier when it's an organic thing because they're the ones that know you. I'm a straight up just. I'm not going to say blunt, but I try to be straightforward with people about things in a real estate transaction.
Sure.
Sometimes,
and I think
man,
people want that.
Yeah,
Like, at the end of the day, everyone wants that.
Yeah.
Let's lay it out black and white.
and it's hard to do sometimes, man, because our job is not to give people our opinion. Like I don't offer my opinion. I will only give somebody. Like I had a transaction just recently that had multiple offers, and they were close, and they were like, "What do you think? Which one should we go with?" And I'm like, "Ooh," I was like, "I don't know if I want to give you that opinion." And they're like, "Well, I'm specifically asking you for your opinion." So I gave them my perspective on, each deal, the pros and cons of it, what. To the best of my ability, obviously. But at the end of the day, I was like, this is my breakdown and my opinion of each, but I'm not going to tell you which one to go with. Like, that's all. That ain't on me. Yeah. You're not going to put that on me. And they respected that. And I was like, this is a decision you're going to have to make.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, you want them to be happy.
So sometimes you have to tell people things. I'm not one of these realtors that is going to tell you what you want to hear just to push the sale, because ultimately at the end of the day, like, I don't want to get a reputation of being that guy that's just trying to get the sale. All of us want to make money. All of us want to get to the closing table. All of us want to get
quantity
paid. Right.
Is always better.
Yeah, I think y'all do a good job at, what I may not be vocal enough about it, but, like your next closing could be from somebody from the past. So we're always, like, all right, let's make sure that they realize, that we're trying to get them what they need and what they want without saying, I would do this or I would do that. So I think y'all both do a great job at that, for sure. I think we've all three have had some kind of issued, I'll call it, transaction with clients. And sometimes, in every industry, you've got, people that make your job or your career harder, that there's no reason for it to be harder. So, you know, like I've had people, I mean, change their mind. I don't know if y'all have at closing, you know, and that's, you've done your job, you've, you know, found them the house, maybe even found them a house that they found first, or you showed them the house that they found, and you're at closing and they just, I've changed my mind. I've had that. That's really tough to want that client or to, you know, to say, hey, I want you to come back in 90 days and we'll do it again. It's tough because you've already done, you know, people don't realize a whole transaction sitting at the closing table is some time. It's, you know, it's a lot more time than most people think. What is y'all's thoughts on the real estate career in a whole, as far as other careers, since y'all have experience in other careers? What do y'all, this is for somebody that might be listening to this, that's wanting to get into real estate as well, as a positive note, you know, as a firm, here we are, you know, real estate firm. What do y'all think compared to other careers as far as time making money to somebody that's new? Do you think it's average as far as time per dollar, or do you guys think that it's better, or it can be better depending on, you know, obviously you're you know,
lots of variables there. I definitely think it can be better.
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Time invested to the reward. But definitely, I mean, that's a loaded question.
That
right?
is.
So that's a loaded question.
I get asked that a lot. That's why I ask you guys.
Well, when you think about time, most people compare their hourly wage to like time on a clock.
Mm-hmm.
So like your Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever it is that you work. You check in or you clock in at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You do your job, you clock out, and you go home. You basically, for most of the time, I'm not going to say that people that aren't in real estate don't take their work home with them, because they do. There's a lot. There's things that happen at work that you take home.
Let's tell them realistically what happens.
We know our teachers take it home, right?
Right. So, but when you start breaking down time, especially if you have got a transaction, you know, one of the worst things you can do, and I think anybody that cares about their clients is going to do this, but one thing you got to be careful with is like not getting too emotionally attached to the transaction.
Oh yeah, we could talk
I've got some good friends right now that I've got under contract with stuff, and I just want the best for them.
Mm-hmm,
you know,
sure.
I want it to turn out in their favor the best. And then obviously you've got the agent working on the other side that wants the best for their client. You're just trying to, when you get emotionally attached to stuff, that's hard to put a number on an hour. Let's just say that you close a deal and you make $5,000. All right. You're under contract for 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're answering the phone at ball games. You're responding to emails at ball games.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking about something goes wrong. Oh, cool. The inspection revealed that we've got termites. You've got sellers that are dead set that there's nothing wrong with their house and they're not fixing nothing. I don't know about you guys, but that constantly stays on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
when you break it down time into what you're getting paid for, those mental hours count.
The mental hours, I think, is the most unheard of, because we don't talk about it. But man,
those are what take you from your family.
Absolutely,
you can literally be present at a kid's ball game.
Mm-hmm. You're there.
And your eyes are watching your kid play ball, but your brain is over here thinking about
how am I going to get this deal back on the track?
I need it on the tracks because I've got mortgage coming up. I've got bills. I've got baseball bats to buy. I've got uniforms to buy, cleats, summer vacation. If this doesn't close, how does that get paid for? So you start thinking about all these things. So in some cases, what we get paid breaking down hourly is very good, very good. And there's some deals that are so easy, and you're like, man,
this is okay.
This is all right.
Yeah, this is great.
And then there's some where you're like, I'm going to go slam my head into that door right there.
You earn the other ones off of those deals.
So have you guys had the transaction to where it actually made y'all think, do I want to keep doing this? Have y'all had that?
Sure.
Have you
every year? Every year. If you ask my wife, it's
like
every single transaction. with the exception of a couple, because like there's always something, and I'm guilty of it. I'm sitting here telling people not to get emotionally invested with stuff, and like
that's important, but it's tough.
Your organic leads, those are the ones that tend to be the less problematic. But on the flip side of that, those are the ones that you're more emotionally involved with. Because if I'm representing you, we've been friends for years. Yeah. Okay. You get under contract with a house, you and your wife love it. You've got to have it.
Yep.
And then something comes up, and you're like, crap, man, this house needs, termite eradication, or it needs a new roof. And then you've got these sellers that are like, no, I ain't doing it.
We ain't doing it.
Yeah. What do we do there?
And then you're like, man, like, what do I do? So
it is a thing that I had one. I've got one right now that's still technically pending. Right. I had never in 20 years. I've never had one this high. The repair estimate, $79,000.
Oh my!
This is on like a 210. So it's not like $1 million house. Like we're talking like.
Did it get hit by a tornado or something?
Well, it's got some issues.
Okay.
It's an old house. It's been remodeled though. They kind of they remodeled it themselves, that kind of thing. And so I'm here I am thinking, well, we'll just get some repair estimates like I usually do. In past 15 transactions, all had something, and get the repair estimate and open it up, and I'm like. There's too many digits in this thing. You know what I mean? Like I can see 7, but 79. So you're always learning, still I'm learning just like you guys. Y'all think, oh, he's been in it a while. He knows I don't, it's something almost every single transaction that I'm like, hadn't seen that. Almost every single one. It might be a way that a lender, did prepaids or something small, but it's something different almost. So it's not, none of them are the same. None of them are. It's very hard. It's very, very difficult to say, well, I've got all of this down and everything, everything that comes across, we've got an idea to fix it. It's tough. It's tough. And that's the mental part that you're talking about. I've probably had 8 or 9 hours this week just, completely off of work and still thinking about, how in the world am I going to get this deal, like $79,000. And people don't see that, even your family don't see it. They know that you're halfway, you're halfway present,
Yeah.
So
let's do some
that.
quick math. Just this is like, I don't know, ballpark.
Yeah.
So let's say, 30 days. All right. So you got 30 days to
30
deal
days
with a transaction.
in a usual transaction, 30, 35. Yeah.
Usually, with the client, it could be way longer than that. I mean, you could have 60 days. Dude, there's been some clients that I've shown 25, 30 houses and wrote multiple offers. Man, 2021, 2022 was terrible. There was one client I had, I think we wrote 25 offers. And this was back when people were bringing appraisal gap addendums to the table.
Sure.
We're saying, well, the house only appraised for $300. Well, we'll bring $30,000 to make our offer right. And I'm like, this is outrageous. Yeah. So we'll take that out of the equation. Let's 30 days, okay? Once you get it under contract, those first couple of days are pretty hands off. You're scheduling your inspections, you're communicating with lenders, communicating with attorneys. So, we'll change that number to 20 days. All right. And you figure maybe with the mental load, maybe 4 hours a day. Mm-hmm. So you might have, and then we'll just say, plus another 10 for others. So that's 90, roughly 90 hours.
90 hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And this math may sound stupid. I'm just trying to be ballpark here.
No, this is great for somebody new. It'd be great.
Let's say that your commission after your split, depending on what firm you're with, let's just say you make $5,000. That breaks down to $55 an hour. If you've got 90 hours in a transaction, breaks down to $55. Now, $5,000 at the rate houses are selling right now, commission percentages have dropped. The average of what I'm seeing right now, most of the time is 2.5. Yeah. Like I still see 3s. They're obviously there's no industry standard of like what you've got to charge, but like most of the time it's 2.5 to 3. I've seen some 2s. But even still, $5,000 commission in this market is on the lower side of normal.
Sure. So
you think you take that right there, $55 an hour. That's not bad. Somebody making $55 an hour working 40 hours a week. That's $105,000 a year.
Yeah.
So that's working a 40-hour-a-week job. Now, you take that number right there, and let's say you close one a month. I don't know what the average full-time agent's closing. You know, there's some agencies around here that have got some rock stars that are just killing it.
Yeah.
You know, but let's just say you do that twice a month. You know, that's pretty decent living.
Yeah,
now,
it's not bad.
Now, in this economy, when gas is, you know, $4.20 a gallon, and you're spending, you know, $300, $400, $500 a week in groceries, and you know you've got a $1,800 a month mortgage, and you've got 2 car payments, and I mean that's not really that great,
Right.
Anymore.
That
and
benchmark, that you know, the $100,000 benchmark. Let's just say as an annual income, that's the old 70.
Yeah, I mean, really,
Right.
it is.
when I got into real estate,
And that's forever changing. Like we could bring
Always changing, yeah.
generation after generation in here. Everybody's got that story.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
so much lower.
forever going, right? It's forever going.
it's changed since we started. You know,
Sure.
if you would have told me in 2018 that I could make my gross to me $100,000 a year, I'd have been like, man, that's doing something.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's probably why we initially got in. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
some
it
degree.
was driven. It was a financial drive, but I also realized that there was a lot of work that goes into it.
Yep.
But now, you know, in order for a like family of 4 or 5
mhm.
to live comfortably,
Yeah.
and this ain't, you know, going to Disney every year and living this like outrageous life, but just to live comfortable. Because let's just be honest, like the days of people haven't paid off vehicles. Like I've got paid off. All my vehicles are paid off. I drive old stuff for a reason.
Yeah, that's smart.
But the average family, you think about it, man. How many people do you know that don't have a car payment?
Right. Well,
So
some of these conversations with these lenders, and we've got, you know, they're getting them pre-approved or doing the deal on a home, and it's, you know, $2,600 in car payments and this and that.
yeah, and they make $70,000. They combined household income, they make $140,000 a
Right,
year, and the
right.
lenders, you know, oh yeah, you're
approved.
We can pre-approve you, approve you for $500,000.
Having a good lender is key.
Yes.
In this industry for sure.
Big time.
You've got to have a good lender.
And that's a whole nother podcast in itself. Is talking about lenders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But to get back on the wagon trail, it's a loaded question. Depends on the transaction. For the most part, we're paid well for what we do, but there's a lot. If you're a decent agent and you're a good agent and care about the transaction,
Oh, you've got time.
you're going to have some time.
You got the time.
But-
especially on the listing side.
But that's
Yeah.
back to anything, right? If you enjoy what you do,
Right. Right.
what is it to you? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
Take the numbers out of it, take the hours out of it, you know, take the financial numbers out of it. If you're happy and you do a great job and you serve your clients well
Yeah, it's going to come back to you.
and you're happy, that's where and that's back to the new agents. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want out of it? You
I
know
think
what I mean?
I think you're right. If they enjoy it, that's half the battle. If
Sure.
they don't enjoy it,
And that's with anything, right?
With anything, really.
Thomas Bus, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know guys still up there
Mm-hmm.
couldn't pull them away,
Oh yeah.
right? Couldn't pull them away. Not being funny, I wouldn't go do it for what they're
Right.
for what they're making, and that's not
Yeah.
that's not a poke to anything there by no
Right.
means. It's not for me.
Right.
You have to
Yeah.
find what's for you.
Yeah. You, if you're not a people person,
Definitely.
or at least
Definitely.
know how to communicate with people and not be a robot, that's probably a lot of work for you.
Yeah.
Right. Communication's key.
Communication is big. Communication. How many people you're willing and able.
Yeah.
To communicate in say a 30-day period. It's a lot more than people realize.
Well, look, you're
it's a lot more.
you're a realtor, you're a finance expert. Sometimes you're a marriage counselor.
Sometimes.
Wow. Yeah.
Sometimes you're a therapist.
Yeah. Had that one.
Sometimes you're an anger management professional. Like, there's so many things that we have to do as a realtor in a transaction sometimes that like you shouldn't have to deal with.
Yeah.
But if you want that transaction to work out,
Well, that's why you love it or you don't.
yeah.
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 Exactly.
There's
what I
been there's been times where I'm like, you know what? There ain't no money in this world worth dealing
With this.
with this.
He wouldn't mind me telling this. I've got a client that's still current. this would throw off somebody new that's wanting to get in this career. Every time I showed him a house, he would walk to a closet, walk in the closet, and close the door. And, some of the stuff that you see, in other words, if you're new to this, you're just like, what is happening?
What's going on here?
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And that was just one of the things that he had to do every house. Great guy, great friend, but he would do that on every single house. He would walk to a closet, close the door, and you're standing there in the living room like, what is he doing? Hey, man, what are you doing?
I had some people turn down houses because they didn't like the light fixtures. And I'm like, you can change that, right?
Right.
Like,
It's not permanent.
You can change the light fixtures.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't like this chandelier. And I'm like, okay, well, that chandelier don't have to stay.
Yeah.
Literally, the only thing that they didn't like about the house
Was
the
the
light fixtures. And like 5 or 6 houses, they were
Mm.
the dream house. The spouse was like, I love
man.
this house. Not
Really?
like these light fixtures. I can't get past it. And I'm like,
Mm.
all right, on to the next.
Yeah.
I think patience, too.
Must have
Oh, my
patience.
gosh.
Must
Well,
have patience.
I think definitely patience. Patience.
I think I knew that. I don't think I knew that.
I did not know that, and I
Right.
still don't know that.
Right. like I knew, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the patience that you've got to have. For instance, they won't mind me. It's a running joke on social media right now. It's a great family. I ain't gonna put their name out there, but I showed them 175 houses. That's my
Wow.
record.
That's got to be a record.
Is that your line in the sand now? That's a pretty far out line, man.
Now, I tell you when this was. This was 12-ish. I might have started in 2011 with them. Anyway, 2011, 12, market was different.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got a buyer. I'm showing them everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was showing 19 a day. We'd get in the car on Saturday morning and just look at every single house that was, on the market.
Mhm.
And they finally bought a house in High Point. It was a great house, big house, decent price for that time period. And I was thinking, let me just see. I know it's up there. And back then, it was before I completely went digital, and I literally wrote every showing on their folder, on every client's folder.
Oh wow.
So I was like, I started counting, and I was like, there's no way. I went to Trendy. I probably miscounted that. So I counted it again, and I was like, did I show them 175 houses? And she actually kept up with it too, and she thought it was more than that. I was like, she's like, yeah, we've almost seen 200 houses. I was like,
Yeah, some inventory.
yeah. That was back when, you put something on the market and you're already trying to figure out how you're going to extend it and get them to re-sign. That was a different time. It's like, all right, this is probably not going to sell.
Right.
So I'm going to, work the listing, if you will, and make this client happy so they'll re-sign with me. That's literally what happened. So that's my record on as far as showings, as far as patience. Patience. That was probably my record. I don't think I've even come close to that since.
I think my record's 40, and that was in.
That's a lot. I mean, if you think about it, that's a lot.
That was
Yeah.
in 2022.
Yeah.
21, 22.
And we both know that Russell just like snaps his fingers and people
Yeah.
just go buy something. They're just like,
No,
Sprinkle
I'm up there.
You sprinkle that fairy
I'm
dust.
up there at that 36, 37 mark.
Are you really? I figured yours was a lot lower.
Yeah.
I figured yours was like 10 or something.
Yeah, there was
Probably an average of 5, right? I mean, but
Yeah.
I do have some 30.
Do you?
Have a 30 some.
Phew.
And it doesn't stick because it was bad. It was actually, but everything was fine. They're just in a different market. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just different market.
I don't really know that we have the inventory right now.
No, you'd
to
be
have
going.
to have that many, unless the search area is just so broad. If they were just so open to
Right.
Price
just so many
and area.
things,
Yeah.
Right.
I've got one that I'm starting that it could be a little different because they do have the ability. They're not confined to a certain area, a
amount
certain
or-
school
yeah.
district. Also open to land to build. They have the ability to where if we find land, they could buy land and build.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of variables of what we're looking at or what we're looking for. So
Sure. What's y'all's favorite type of, as far as real estate transactions? Is it land? Is it new construction? Is it, I mean, we do a little commercial here. Obviously, Stratton does probably the majority of.
I've had a really, I guess, the last year and a half, a really good run with new construction.
Have you? Is that your new favorite?
I think it is.
Yeah.
It is. And I don't know it's not necessarily that. I mean, I don't want to play it off like it's easier because there's still some.
No, there's still some
There's
tape.
still
yeah,
you know
that you
tape in that for sure.
gotta cut.
But I like that, and it's been good the last year and a half too.
Has it?
So
What's your favorite? Matt's like whatever.
No.
It's not
Yeah, the ones that aren't problematic. are my
I'll do it
favorite.
all. I'll do it all.
Yeah. Here lately, man, I've done a lot more listings.
Yeah.
And I have been fortunate that my math and comps have worked out good. I try to keep a common sense approach.
Yeah.
I tend to be a little bit more conservative on pricing because people always see that high number and they're like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, I ain't going to price for that.
right.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I've had good clients that actually listened and the appraisal came in right at the contract. So,
So residential listings.
I'd say
what
that
you
they're
think?
probably split between residential listings and buyers. There's more work on the front end for a listing.
Yeah.
There's more work on the back end for a buyer.
Matt did
Yeah,
his
I agree with
first
that.
commercial went, I would think, fairly pretty smooth. I mean, I don't
Very
think
smooth.
I don't think it had any really bumps. I
Nope.
mean, I wasn't in the transaction, but
The transaction itself was pretty smooth.
pretty normal.
It was actually more than normal. It was very easy.
Was it?
Very little. Like the buyers were super straightforward. They knew what they were getting. They already had a plan with what they were going to do with the building. The seller was, happy to get it moved.
Yeah, he wanted it
the
moved.
only
He was
downfall,
motivated.
yeah,
Yeah.
the only downfall that I think that there is to commercial is just time. So residential stuff, once you get it listed to get it under contract, 30, 45 days it closes.
Yep.
Typically, problems that arise can be dealt with a little easier when you're dealing with commercial stuff, especially in the industrial.
Yeah, that was.
You start looking at the EPA and
Sure.
health stuff. They sit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Payouts are usually a lot more on a commercial property, but that commercial listing that I closed sat on the market for almost a year.
Did it?
Sure.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know the time frame. I should have
Yeah.
looked it up.
I listed it last June and it closed in March.
Oh wow.
So, you do the work, you list it, you make changes as you need to make changes.
Sure.
I enjoy the digital marketing side. I like being able to be creative with listings and the
Yeah.
advertisement videos,
And you've really hit on that here lately.
drone footage.
Yep.
I've had two of my last few listings. Honestly, the drone footage that we did and the video that we made from the drone footage is what sold the house.
So
I had a
that's
guy.
good feeling.
I had a guy text me and was like, "Hey, I just watched this video on Facebook.
Oh,
Is
that's
this so and so's house?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, well, my brother's looking. I'm gonna send him the video." Next thing I know, I get a showroom request from an agent.
Boom.
It's the guy goes under contract, smooth as butter.
What does that make you want to do on the next one? You know, what I mean,
Makes me want to make another video. So
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
creativity wise, I feel like you've got a little bit more control on the listing side.
Right.
I think so far in 8 years, I'm probably 50-50. I've done just as many sales as I have listings.
Okay. So as far as buyer side or listing side,
Yeah.
What do you think you've been on? I don't know the numbers either, so
I'd probably
there's no
say
wrong answer.
At least for the last year, I've been 80% listings.
Listings.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's primarily been your game is listing because you got
Yep. And like that is you can be creative. You can get, I enjoy that side. I love working with the buyer. Some of these listings turn into buys.
Right.
They do. I've
But,
had a lot of doubles.
A lot of this where, getting back to where I was talking about the new construction, there's not a buy on the back end of that, right? It's
Yeah,
a new
that's true.
construction listing.
Yep.
But I love that. That's kind of where I don't want to say settled in. I'm open, right? But that's a good little spot for me to be in. I like that.
That's good.
I like that. So we just got to keep.
I think mine is
Keep building.
listings. Listings as well. The creative side of marketing it, and feeling like at least that you're marketing hours and what you're trying to do actually sells the property for the client. That's what I like. That's what makes me feel like I'm accomplished at the end of the day when somebody's seen something that I created, and then ultimately looked at the house and hopefully offered on it. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll say, I'm not going to say this is my favorite. One of the coolest things that I've done, and it's just happened in the last year, I've done 2 land deals probably in the last 5 months. both of the land deals are with. One of them was with a very, very, very close friend of mine, probably one of my best friends.
Wait, I thought me and Russell was. No? Okay, go ahead.
I said one of them.
I'm just messing with
I
you.
said one of them. But they have had this vision for years of buying land and building a house on it. You know, kind of like a homestead for their kids. They've got kids now. So we got their house listed. Priced it realistically. They made money on it. It helped them go towards the next step.
Did it? That's good.
And then we found some land, and I learned a tremendous amount on that deal, just what goes into buying land and preparing the land and getting it ready to build on. Again, that could be a whole nother podcast in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to go through the steps, and still to this day, the transaction's over with. Like commissions have already been paid. They own the land. Still to this day, I'm involved in helping them.
That's
Number one,
awesome.
it's just a good friend of mine, but
Yeah.
being able to help him through, making that goal come a reality, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like
that's
just
really
the
cool.
process of the perk and, construction permits and build and, well permits.
Right.
Like there's a lot that goes into that. People don't realize with
it
land.
really is. On land, it really is.
So I'm actually getting ready to watch a close friend's vision unfold.
That's awesome.
And
That's got to be a good feeling too.
I've got one under contract right now that they're also friends of mine in the community, and that one hasn't been bad, but there's been a couple more bumps in it, but it's just cool to know once the finished product is there and they've got their home site there, you're like, man, that was cool to help them do that.
Help them do it.
And sometimes it's tough to look at people like, oh, I love helping people accomplish their dreams and, the sappy stuff. But when you actually get to do that,
It is
and
feeling-
there's
good feeling.
meaning to that, and you're not
Absolutely.
just saying it as a business ploy,
Absolutely.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, we're hitting about our time. I hope you both know, how appreciative I am of your time today, and obviously not just your time today, but sticking in with Hepler Realty. We appreciate your years of.
Oh yeah.
We can call it years of service now.
Years of service,
We're talking 8 years.
Yeah.
A little over 8 years
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
So that's pretty awesome.
Been a cool ride.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to get off at the bus stop yet.
We're just getting started.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I appreciate you guys again. I'm going to put both of your numbers on here, obviously. But again, if you've got any questions about real estate, definitely Russell Smith. You can call him, text him, email him, or Matt Matteson. And we appreciate you guys coming in and listening or watching. Thank you guys. You guys have a great day. We'll see you later. Contact Russell Smith at 336-688-9099 or Matt Matteson, 336-430-1204.